back kicking it stateside. A lovely, feels like fall Saturday here in the New Jersey, PA, respectively. Per usual, we got a lot to talk about, Brian. How about it, man?
Oh man, we have come full circle, brother.
It's we started this show basically doing a preview for last season, and now we have come to our second season, and we are gonna lay it all out there for you today. We got a lot of Prem preview since the season already picks up next week. Saturday we'll get the ball rolling, and then it's just another 6 beautiful months of strong soccer, we hope.
Yeah, a lot heavy action-packed schedule.
Yeah, and hopefully I think England said that they were thinking about bringing fans back in October, possibly. I don't know if that's still on par to if that's still the plan, I guess.
Yeah, there's some mixed things still, but I know there were some talks about a few teams and getting limited capacity, but getting some fans back in the stands. So,
which we love to see, because there's nothing better than that Saturday in the Prem, that atmosphere in the stadiums. There's nothing like it.
No, there's really not.
And you can pump in your fake noise, but nothing is like the actual atmosphere and that like live emotion and reaction to every little play is,
with the away supporters section too, and being able to do all that. What's up, Ant-Man? We got
Ant-Man and Tommy checking in. But yeah, we're going to run down some serious, go down every team, say a little bit, what happened, maybe some key departures, some new signings. Obviously, Brian and I were talking before the show and saying that, there's still a month left in the transfer window. So we're going to do our best to try and, do a good, preview and predictions when we know that there's probably still a lot of moves out there to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of put out somewhat of a table that I thought would be a possibility, depending on, like you just said, some major signings coming down the pipeline. But it's going to be a lot of pressure on your Blues there, my friend.
I know. Jeez. I mean,
it's
Roman opening up the pocketbooks and just dumping. I think it's a Premier League record now. They beat,
Dude,
the evil empire.
You go down the list of transfers per team, as we've been doing, trying to get a gauge on who's new, who's left, what these teams are going to look like for the, start of this season. And maybe there's one or two big names per team until you get to the Chelsea list. And literally all, 6, I think, are major names in the game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, all the weight's on Frank's shoulders to take what they did last year and get all these guys playing together with chemistry quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll talk about that, obviously, when we get to Chelsea in our, segment. But, yeah, I mean, it is a lot of pressure. You bring all these big dogs in, and pretty much anything less than a top 3 finish is just a monumental, disappointment and basically underachieving.
Yeah.
Because you buy all these guys to compete with the Liverpools, and obviously City will be up there 1-2, I'm sure, again this season. So
yeah, you don't make those moves to just get to Champions League. You make those moves to win the Premier League.
Yeah, 230 million. So we'll see if that'll be well spent or a monumental failure. We'll find out.
Yes, we shall see. We'll see. While we're getting on the topic of things that we're going to do today, for everybody who has not seen on the social medias, Adam and I have decided, because of last year timing and the start of the show, we never really were able to put one together. So we are going to do a first annual Kicking It Stateside Fantasy Premier League, English Premier League fantasy. So we are looking for people that want to join. Anybody watching this show, there will be no entry fee this year. Being it's our first year, there will be some prizes. some A2D and Kicking It Stateside swag that we will provide.
And maybe a guest appearance on the show.
So anybody that wants to join, please, let Ralphie know. Put it in the comments. Hit up us on the socials. I'll get you the information. Ant-Man is actually our 4th member to the league. So, again, welcome. He was the gentleman I was telling you about, the Man City guy.
Yep.
So, right now with Eric, myself, you, and him, we got 4 guys and 4 different supporters. So, it should bring some excitement and some serious shit talking to a league.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think it's a great idea that you brought up to do this. And yeah, get in touch with us if you want to get in. Like we said, a little swag bag, for the winner. Also, you get to talk a little soccer with us on the show. I mean, what better, prize is that?
Exactly. We are the ultimate prize.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Look at this mug. Andy also said I look like Sheamus from WWE. I am a little Irish, and the beard might.
You got the Sheamus look. Shoulders are a little small, but
I'm not as jacked as he. Yes, and I'm not a Liverpool supporter at all.
Yeah, not at all.
But yeah.
But other than that, we got a lot to get into. Obviously, I saw Joey say something in the comments about Messi. We're not going to go as crazy on like we did last week on the Messi situation. Obviously, if you didn't see, Messi's going to be staying with Barcelona. Apparently, it came down to his family not willing to really, relocate, which, is that just a smokescreen bullshit excuse or, Dude, when you're 33 years old and your dad needs to come talk to your boss, that tells me everything I need to know about you.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry. You're a grown-ass man. Why is your dad coming in and talking to your boss? You couldn't iron that out without Pops?
Again, it's a weird situation, the way it's kind of played out in the whole saga, just drawing it way too long, but I don't know. Again, we'll kind of touch on that a little bit briefly because, again, today we have a lot to get into.
We do.
As far as the Prem.
Yeah, we kind of flipped the show around, so anything world news, we're going to try and get out of the way early and take you right up through the whole Prem preview all the way through the rest of the show. So, Lord Walker, thank you on the congrats on the Shield winners.
I believe you guys have a bet.
We will have a 30-minute designated Arsenal show at some point.
Can't wait.
We'll figure out. Obviously, this week was not the week to do it with our preview show. We don't have that kind of time to add that in. I know Adam's so thrilled about spending 30 minutes only talking about Arsenal. But
of course, I love them so much. It's just, I guess
I'll let you get a Chelsea plug in during the Arsenal segment.
I mean, a bet is a bet you guys made. That's fine. I don't mind. I mean, it's just we got to watch betting against Arsenal in these cup matches, it seems like.
All of a sudden.
Now I have to wear Arsenal, and then Lord Walker has to listen to Arsenal for 30 minutes.
And I don't even know why I'm taking bets with Arsenal being the victor, but probably because I'm just sick in the head.
I don't know, man.
But to touch on that, like Adam said, Messi's staying. Will he finish his career there? That's the second poll question. Will he actually retire there, or will he do this trip to the MLS that everybody was begging for, in a couple more years when he's 35, 36? Who knows at this point? Right now, it looks like he's a career Barca guy.
It certainly seems that if he's staying, I think he's going to be there for his career. I don't see him. If they're not willing to move to England, his family, why the hell would he want to bring his family to the U.S.?
Yeah, I guess if they go back to Argentina and then, U.S. is closer to Argentina than Spain would be in, quote unquote retirement. I mean, he'll basically retire, but
I think it'd be a
don't know.
huge long shot, maybe at like the end of his career, because I think he only has 1 year left at Barcelona on his contract.
Unless they extend this deal, it's still only until 2021.
Well, that's the thing they were saying, that maybe he's just going to play this year out and then walk away for basically for free.
Right, which that's got to be a killer.
Because the ball's basically in his court. It's almost that Christian Eriksen situation where they know, he's not going to be re-signed, or maybe he doesn't want to stay. So it's like, well, we got to get rid of him maybe to get some money back. But I don't know what the long play is for Messi. I really don't.
Yeah. And Joey, yes, Mohamed Salah is definitely still with Liverpool. He's not leaving anytime soon. Not yet.
Yeah, again, we'll kind of get into that, but.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And just to throw it out there one more time, we're going to pop it up during the show as people are joining us. Lord Walker, we know you just got in. We are doing a Premier League Fantasy League. So if you want to get in, let us know. We would love to have you, being that you're, a regular here. So we'll need your email and stuff, but we can iron that out after the show.
Absolutely.
And he said, don't worry, Chelsea's coming up on your list. So without further ado, I guess we got to get our sponsors in here.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you should have already called the Ambuck guys because it's Labor Day weekend. Again, happy Labor Day to everybody out there.
Yes.
But you should have been already getting your shit done. You got to getting the back deck nice and pretty and your trees trimmed.
Bushes only 3 weeks of summer left.
Yeah. This is your time to get outside because pretty soon, who the hell knows what's going to be going down weather-wise, COVID-wise. We don't know the rest of the year. What 2020 has in store, I don't know. But you should have been already getting on that and getting on the Ambuck Services guys because they're the best in South Jersey. So if you're in the South Jersey area, hit them up. Again, like Brian said, you got 3 weeks of summer. Get it done now. Don't let it go.
Always a chance for redemption.
Always. So you can hit them up, ambuckservices.com, or call. Oop, I almost had a...
Whoa. You're getting a little emotional there about these people not using Ambuck Services.
So call it 856-879-5530 and the good doctor, Paul Vidal. Specialized physical therapy. Another Jersey treasure, this guy.
Absolutely.
The best.
He's got a lot of ground covered, and he handles the business. Again, if you can't even get out to one of the beautiful locations, you can do an online consult. There's a lot of different things you can do. So,
hells yes. And we already know the 3 locations: Burlington, Cherry Hill, and the beautiful Prince of New Jersey. Boom.
Not that Burlington and Cherry Hill aren't beautiful. It's 2020. You got to be careful, man.
I know. I don't know if there's a person out there for hell. We went to school at Cherry Hill, so it's definitely beautiful.
Yes.
But yeah, let's get into it. So like we said, we're going to kind of flip the script and start with some of the world news and what's kind of going on. And then we're going to go heavy into the Prem basically for the rest of the show to close her out. So yeah, I mean, quickly, the whole Messi thing while we're sort of on the topic, that if you didn't see Barcelona, he has announced that he's staying apparently, and that he had an interview with, I forget what source, and basically said that he asked his kids, and his kids were pleading with him and begging him and basically crying and saying, "No, Dad, we don't want to leave Spain. We love it here." And apparently that's one of the biggest reason why he's going to stick around, which we don't know if that's a smokescreen or not.
I mean, I'm all about doing stuff for my kids. Sure. I get that, but I don't know. I like I said, I don't totally believe it because nothing changed until his dad started having these meetings. So
Is his dad his agent, or his dad just got involved?
I would say his dad's probably his agent. I can't speak on that 100%, but I'm pretty sure that his dad, being that he signed with Barca at like 13 or 14 years old, and he's been with the team the entire time. I mean, obviously, his dad in Barcelona have talked for years and years and years because up until he was 18, he had to make all the decisions for him, being that
Right.
he's still a minor, even though you're under a professional contract. So I get the relationship is probably very strong. I mean, you're going on, 19 years at the same club. So there are a lot of ties there. But if that's something you can't settle yourself after 19 years, I mean, I like I said, I don't get it. I don't know if it was just your typical Messi thing, just like the Argentina thing where he was upset and cranky and he quits on his squad and I don't want to be here anymore. And then kind of hindsight kicks in later and he's like, well, do I really want to do this? Do I really? Because the reality of it, wherever he was going to go, if he doesn't win, it's a failure.
Yep.
And I don't know if he has that build in his mentality to be able to accept that. Like Ronaldo has succeeded and failed multiple times in his career, but he just kind of always like lets it roll off his back and he makes the next move and he finds a way wherever he goes to the next place and to succeed. Messi's never had to do that. So
Right.
I don't know if he's built to leave, go to a place like Man City, and if they don't win with all the other talent that was there, it's always going to fall back on his shoulders. And I don't think he was ready for that.
No, not at all. And like we've talked last week when we really got into it, that I know the money grab was there, trying to get to the MLS. I think that was City's goal, as well as him playing for 3 years and then doing the old double dip with New York City FC and the MLS. It's like a win-win for them because then you get the U.S. market, tuning in big time, and then you get also all the Messi stands coming in and watching the MLS and getting the MLS out there on a broader spectrum.
I mean, it seemed like that was going to be the play if he was going to go anywhere. It was going to be either he's staying at Barca or
go Chelsea, Eric.
Oh, look at that! Adam's making friends. Flyer Chelsea fans. There we go.
Let's go, boys. But yeah,
but yeah,
I mean, it
didn't happen.
It didn't, and it's not going to probably unless, like I said, he somehow plays out this year in his contract and then he leaves for free, which would really be a kick in the dick to Barcelona. Basically, that'd be a huge shaft.
If I'm Barca now with the announcement he's coming back, I'm trying to work an extension.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
I'm trying to get him extended till 36 probably.
Yeah, I think he's got probably 3-4 years left, good years in him.
Yeah.
But I mean, this Barcelona team, they sold off Rakitic, I saw.
Yeah. How about that?
Going back to his original club in Sevilla.
That's a nice move for Sevilla.
Yeah. Making big time moves.
Yeah.
Well, his Rakitic met his wife there when he played for Sevilla.
He was a long time.
Spanish.
He's a Sevilla legend.
I mean,
so
kind of where he made his name.
Coming off kind of what they've just done and adding a guy like that later in his career, that's a nice move for them.
Yeah. I mean, Barcelona's not getting any younger.
Yeah, Suarez looks like he's out.
Yeah, looks like he's going to Juve, apparently.
Yeah. I guess the biggest move they're trying to do here that I heard was they're trying to move Griezmann back to Atletico and somehow get João Felix, since the Griezmann experiment didn't work so well. So we'll see how that goes.
Hell yeah. Chelsea fan since the late 90s. Met a guy from London. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Have you ever been over there?
Those are the stories we want to hear.
Yeah. How you got started.
Yeah. And people just coming out of the woodwork. All of a sudden they start to see our posts on A2D. Speaking of, again, plug to A2D, doing big things over here.
Oh
guys, everybody needs to be on this platform. all these
90K
shows. Yeah,
views?
even if you're not a Philly guy,
That's wild.
just the sports talk
Big
in
time
general.
shit.
Like a lot of people don't know about, like with me. I mean, a lot of the A2 people know that as far as Philly goes, I only like the baseball team. But I've been around Philly sports and Philly sports talk radio my entire life. I've been in this area my entire life. I go way back to when, if you wanted to listen to sports talk, it was on AM at 10 o'clock at night for 1 hour.
Right.
So, I mean, I grew up with all these voices and all that. And the things that I see happening here are tremendous. And I'm so glad to be part of the team. And just keep looking forward, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. The the Flyers, and obviously with the American football starting back up, getting a lot of big numbers and doing good things, man. It's exciting. So we're trying to get, obviously soccer is still a growing sport in this country. So we're trying to, like we said last week, we're trying to get the people out of the come out of the fields, out of the woodwork, and start talking.
Got to
Like
give
Eric's,
the people,
that's great.
Give the people what they want.
Don't forget.
That's been our motto. In case
It's
anybody
the
doesn't
motto,
know.
baby. Come on.
The OJs. Come on.
Oh God, miss it.
That's our theme song.
Miss the studio some days.
I know. Well, my little home studio's in the works, so
Excellent.
yes.
Oh, Eric was in London in 16. Nice.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, what was that, 2 years ago? I toured the Stamford Bridge, though. I didn't see a game, but I toured the bridge. That was pretty dope.
So Eric, again, we'll throw it out there one more time. We'll say during this whole show, we are starting a fantasy league this year, free entry. Just some,
and it's a normal draft.
Yeah,
like a snake draft.
A normal snake draft.
So you're not going to have the same guys. We're not all going to have the same players.
Right. So, find our socials after the game. Hit me up or Adam. We'll need your email. We can send you guys invites to the league. We're trying minimum 8. It could go to 12 if we get the right. We'll go 16 if we get the right amount of people. So
yeah, if there's enough interest, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to play a little fantasy Prem soccer against your boys, let us know. We'll give you the code.
So I guess last piece of world news before we get into this preview. What do you want to go? Just let everybody know about Nations League. I mean, you got anything else that you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was pretty much it as far as the world news. I mean, the Nations League it's just something else to kind of bide your time with, I guess, in the international game, since the Euros were postponed to next summer. This is kind of that like filler.
Yeah.
And it's a tournament too.
Gives people a chance to broaden their horizons a little bit.
It's a little more competitive than what we think of like a normal like international friendly. Like there's stuff. I think it's actually, this tournament does go towards some kind of World Cup seeding, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think what I was reading is they're trying to remove a lot of these friendlies.
Right.
And they're trying to make all these games have some form of meaning and some form of qualification.
Well, like the international friendlies were always so weird because it doesn't mean anything. It's basically just like a tune-up for a tournament coming up, whatever it may be. Or to give some of your guys maybe that you don't always get to call up to the national team, give them a try, see what they got. It's almost like a tryout, basically. Or keeping the guys fresh. Either way.
Yeah.
But I kind of like how it's competitive to where we can watch some good international soccer and, pretty decent lineups from what I've seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of big name players are in these. I mean, Timo was playing for Germany as a nice little warm-up. He got the goal in the Spain game, so.
Yeah, I guess it depends on which. Obviously, some of the big players that, just had were playing in Champions League probably aren't playing. They're probably on holiday, but
Right.
you're
Yeah,
still
but it's
seeing pretty strong squads.
Oh yeah, the Iceland game today. You'll see some pretty big names for England. A lot of the young kids. I think Saka is going to get a start for the England team possibly today. So I'll be watching that one at noon. Harry Maguire is kicked off the squad.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was a fake thing, but obviously, Manchester United signed young Donny van de Beek from Ajax, and apparently he tweeted or he said some Instagram like to Harry like, "Hey mate, can't wait to see you in the squad." Are you? And then he's like, "Are you still in prison?" I don't think that. I think it was a Photoshop, but it's still funny regardless. Tommy disagrees to the poll. Yeah, me too. I don't think Liverpool wins. I think Chelsea wins the league. Let's go. Oh, Eric's in for the fantasy. Sweet dude. We'll get the code out to you. I think the draft is on Thursday night. Obviously, we can kind of move it around if we need to get it in before the weekend, next weekend. Hey, you're muted. You're still muted. There you go.
How about now?
You're good.
My son was trying to FaceTime me over and over and over again. He won't stop unless I answer. He's 7 years old. So I had to answer and tell him that he knows that we're doing the show. So I just can't go a week, man, without something. Hashtag dad life. Hashtag dad life.
Oh, this is great. This is good content stuff.
Great edits. Great. So.
But yeah, I was saying, Eric said he was in for the fantasy.
Yeah,
draft.
I wrote down his email. I saw that, so I got his email in there. Yeah, I don't know why my phone was even letting it go through. I thought I had it off so calls wouldn't come through, but whatever. So.
Oh well.
That's why I got to get my studio up and going soon because I need my computer.
Joey said, "What's the over/under for how many times Brian's screen?"
We're no screens out today, but maybe 7-year-old phone calls all day. So
we'll see how many times his son calls him throughout the show.
And since Tommy threw his opinion in about poll number 1, we might as well throw that one out there too.
Oh, you missed it. I said Chelsea's going to win it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I said no to Liverpool. Yes, Chelsea wins the league after Kai and Timo both score 15 goals each.
Well, the funny thing about that is not to give away, the entire show, but when I wrote my table out this morning, I had them at the top.
There you go.
I had them at the top.
Top of the morning, Pete.
Yo, what's up, Pete? JPL team making the biggest improvements and downfalls. We will get to that. Obviously, we're doing the entire preview, so we're going to go team by team as quick as we can and kind of discuss it. But I mean, it's clear we just said Chelsea.
Definitely Chelsea's biggest improvement.
It's not even close. Then
230 million is the new Premier League record for transfer window. They beat Manchester City's 217 million whenever, I forget, a couple years ago.
Send in the investigators. For a slap on the wrist and a $10 million fine.
Watch Chelsea get banned for 2 years.
Right?
It's well, what is going on here? Jeez.
Could you only imagine?
I mean, there would be some serious backlash from that.
Yeah. Big time.
City just did the same thing, and you just give them a slap, and then Chelsea gets a huge ban from it.
Yeah.
That would be actually pretty funny, but not.
Eric said his kids are 20 and they do the same thing. So I guess it's just not 7-year-old problems. It's
Kid problems.
just
Be,
kids not
dad,
listening.
just being a dad.
Just being a dad.
But yeah, you want to anything else on the world news before we get to the nitty gritty?
No, man. I think it's time. I mean, you know how long it took us the last time we ever did this to run down
2.5 hours.
Yeah, so we only got an hour left, so we got to get started sometime here.
Something's got to be.
Just right before, one last plug again to all of A2D. Follow A2D on every platform you could possible. I don't think there's a platform now that they're not on. And if you do miss the show live, you can go back and catch them on podcast form on all the iHearts and the Spotifys and the iTunes. And then obviously check us out on the socials as well. Kickin at Stateside or at K-Stateside, pretty much anywhere across the social media world. And again, for even more newcomers, we're looking for members of our first annual Kicking at Stateside Premier League Fantasy League. So free entry. There will be some prizes for the winners. And yeah, man. So just send a message down at the bottom.
Test the skills out. We'll see what you got.
See what kind of team you can build.
Ooh.
So let's start at the top. I mean, I know probably the best way to do this is, you want to go alphabetically? Do you want to just...
I was thinking about starting with the newly promoted teams first.
I'm okay with that. I'll let you guide us on that.
Yeah, let's do that one.
All right. We going with the winner then? The first team in?
We'll go with the Leeds boys.
Okay.
So we got, obviously, the 3 promoted teams this year in the Prem. We got West Brom, we got Leeds, and the Fulham boys are back. The Cottagers are in there. West London is got more teams than we could think of now. Since Chelsea and Fulham are like less than 2 miles apart. But yeah, so Leeds won the league championship and gets the automatic promotion. Leeds, actually, I know I picked Sheffield last year to finish the best. And it's probably not a bold prediction at all to say that Leeds will probably finish the highest of those 3, West Brom, Fulham, and Leeds.
I'm on that Leeds bandwagon.
I think they actually do have a pretty decent season. I think they might not be top 10, but I think they can fight for maybe like 12, 11, mid-table-ish.
I see them being definitely the most competitive out of the 3. Not only did they have the best team last year in their respective league, but from what I've seen so far in the offseason, they've made some of the bigger additions. They seem to want to add right off the jump, to where I think some of the other 2 are probably, they're adding, but they're probably waiting a little bit to see how the season starts to play out, if that makes sense, to start to spend the money. But
I mean, Leeds, they made that big signing. They got Rodrigo from Valencia.
Well,
that was a huge, huge pickup for them. I think that was a record signing for Leeds at 30 mil.
To add some goal scoring up front for them, with a guy who's done it.
They kind of have
stages. That was big. They were able to keep Jack Harrison.
Jack Harrison is back.
Loan,
Paddy Bamford.
Paddy Bamford should be good for his career to be behind or with Rodrigo and then kind of work together there.
Don't pick him in the fantasy draft because Paddy Bamford's my sleeper.
I might have a little sleeper myself, and that would be on the defensive side, Mr. Helder Costa.
Yeah,
he comes over from Wolves, and now that was a loan that has now been made permanent. He is a good young player from Portugal, so that's another guy that they've added on a permanent basis. They brought in Robin Koch, the center back from Freiburg.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're bringing in guys that
Leeds are making moves, man.
leagues.
They're making
Absolutely.
moves. They did a lot better. They made a lot more improvements than Sheffield did last season. So hopefully, that Rodrigo signing was big. And then if they can get Jack Harrison and Paddy Bamford to keep scoring goals like they did last year, that's going to be huge.
And they also plucked a kid from Arsenal's youth, being that Arsenal finally has some good young players.
True story, Greg. Greg's like, are they a sleeper? Is Paddy Bamford a sleeper anymore? If you tell people, no. I'm giving out my secrets, Greg. I don't know.
Adam wants people to jump the gun on Paddy Bamford, and he can.
Maybe it's just like reverse psychology. Like, yeah, I'm going to pick Pat Bamford, and then you pick him, and then he has a bad season.
All I'm telling you is, if you pick Pat Bamford in the first 5 rounds, you're like the guy who picks the kicker in the first 5 rounds of fantasy football.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of other strikers in the league that I'm picking.
I saw Paddy Bamford's like 5.5 on the payment. He's cheap as hell, so I don't think anybody's going to run into him.
He's a late pick. He's a waiver wire
guy. He's a depth guy for your team.
He's going to score 2 against Liverpool in a loss week 1, and everybody's going to pick him off the waiver wire. That's what's going to happen.
The Pookie effect.
The Pookie effect. Yes, we call that the Pookie effect.
Eric, how did you become a Chelsea fan, Adam? Growing up, my younger brother played soccer pretty much his whole life. And on Saturday, back when there was only like one game per television, you had to buy like pay-per-view basically, or some special channel if you wanted to watch multiple games. So you basically had one game to watch. So he would always watch if Chelsea was on. I was just sitting there, in the living room, and soccer would just be on, and I'd be like, "Get this shit off the TV. This is stupid." Like, I used to hate it. Like 10,
a lot of them out there.
Like 12 years ago, maybe, and I was like, "This is dumb," and I got into it. Saw a Union game one time, pretty much changed my life, and just kind of stuck with the Chelsea thing. I don't mind, I feel like it was the first team that kind of I was attracted to, besides the Union and Dortmund, but Chelsea, yeah, definitely the Prem squad. But yeah, and London's awesome. The stadium's beautiful. So if you get a chance to go back whenever this fucking COVID shit's done and go to London and tour the bridge, it's not that expensive. To see a game is, but to tour it's not. And you get to go in the locker room and on the field. It's pretty dope. So, yeah.
Awesome.
What is Greg? Are you giving us sleepers so someone takes him?
That's exactly what I said.
Exactly.
Yep. So,
no, but I do want Pat Bamford, so don't take him.
So, yeah, my last note on Leeds was the kid coming from Arsenal was Sam Greenwood, player to watch, young 19-year-old midfielder. So he was a Sunderland kid that Arsenal had grabbed.
Oh,
Sunderland! Was just really no room for him, so he goes to Leeds on a full contract, not a loan.
Hells yeah!
So again, Leeds, I think our pick probably to finish the best out of the 3 new.
I think if we're going bold, yeah, even though it's not that bold.
No, not so bold,
but still. To me, yeah, definitely. They re-upped their squad. They made a lot of good improvements. I think their coach is probably the best out of the 3 with Bielsa.
Yeah.
So they
Marcelo Bielsa.
They got the recipe to do well. So hopefully that comes to fruition. I guess we can go to Fulham, Scotty Parker's side, winning the playoff, getting in there.
Dramatic fashion.
Obviously, they signed Anthony Robinson, the U.S. left back from Wigan, which was a great signing. He's going to sharpen up their defense. They also got Mario Lemina from Southampton, which was an awesome signing. And also they got Harrison Cordova-Reid.
He's also from Southampton.
he's staying with the team on a permanent deal because I was a loan.
Yeah,
And
they purchased that loan.
And they still got Mitro and Joe Bryan. Come on.
They're going to get relegated. They're going back.
Unfortunately, I think so.
They're going back.
They seem like the one and doneers here.
Yeah, I have big one and done vibes out of Fulham, unfortunately. I mean, everybody US wise, I know there's a soft spot for Fulham, being that they've housed many US talents, including, one of our greatest players in Dempsey. But yeah, I don't see, unless they make some kind of other big splash throughout the year, looking at all the teams that we watched play last year and watching how Fulham kind of handled the season in their respective league last year. It's going to be a big step for them to be able to stay up.
I mean, we saw it the last time they were up 2 years ago, and they really, when you don't have the defense, it's going to be tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough, and you got to put the ball in the net, and if Mitro's not going to score, I mean, Cordova-Reed is a good signing, but he's got to do a little bit more. Joe Bryan, I mean, is he a flash on the pan? I mean, is he going to really come into his own or what?
When your first transfer is a guy that plays the same position, I mean, that kind of tells you that their faith in Joe Bryan probably isn't as high as everybody would like. So,
but yeah, it's going to be a tall ask for Scotty Parker. Hopefully, they don't fire him halfway through the season as they start sucking and sliding down the table. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny that you just mentioned that. Not to go off tangent because we got a lot to still cover, but I was looking at all the coaches going into this year and all that. I don't think we have anywhere near that carousel of crazy coaches being replaced that we had last year.
Right.
I think this year there's going to be a little bit longer leash. There's a lot of guys still in the second half of their first season, full season. So I think a lot of them are going to have a longer leash than what we saw last year. There was a lot of guys going into last season that were starting the year on kind of thin ice. So,
well, because Watford's not in the league anymore, you can't have a coaching carousel.
So you don't have to worry about 5 coaches for one team in a season, and
Marco Silva's gone.
Exactly, yeah. David Moyes got his old job back and saved West Ham's butt, so I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, we'll get into this a little bit when we get to them, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think about West Brom?
West Brom, again,
think they do the double, go down?
I think the if you want to go off the table that I wrote out this morning, yes, I have them in 19th. I have Fulham in 20th, them in 19th. I didn't see either one so far show me enough that they're going to be able to do something to stay up.
And West Brom almost folded under pressure in the championship.
Exactly.
Who's to think that? I mean, I like Bilic. He's a good coach.
Slaven Bilic is a good coach.
Sort of shown it when he was, I forget who he managed in the Prem previously, but the only real, I mean, they got Pereira to stay, which was good.
That was big, and they did sign Cedric Kipre from Wigan. They got a defender. Now, right. I don't know how much time he's going to get because he's a kid, but I guess if you're West Brom, I would get him on the pitch because why not? The kid's 6'4". He's 22 years old. He plays with pace. Yeah, I mean, he is actually one of the most touted young center backs in all of Europe. So for West Brom to be able to get him, that's a big thing.
Right.
Again, I don't know if it's still going to be enough. It looks like they kept Grady Dieng too. If I'm not mistaken, he was on loan from West Ham.
Did they keep Callum Robinson from Sheffield? Was that a permanent deal?
I didn't see that, so I don't think so. I think Callum Robinson may have gone back to Sheffield because I saw nothing in the transfer news about that.
Boo, Eric. Liverpool's not winning.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this kid Kipre, I'm interested in because again, he's an Ivory Coast. He was born in France, but he's been playing internationally at for the I think 23 Ivory Coast team. So again, I don't see it being enough. I think they're good moves for the team, but there's a lot of competition in this league. This is
I
the
mean, it's a
best league in the
big
world.
jump, man. It's a big jump to go from the championship to the Prem. It's not easy. You saw Fulham do it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You can go right back down.
Yeah, I mean, even Villa. I mean, Villa was playing until their last day to stay up. So,
well, that's a good segue.
You ready to go Villa?
Let's go Villa. Speaking of managers, I think that may be the first to go.
Oh, we were just on the same page today.
Dean Smith.
For two who don't agree very often, that we are right on the same page with that.
Yeah.
If one manager is gone in the first month and a half, it's definitely Dean Smith. And we're not talking UNC here, boys.
I think Jackie Grealish saved the hell out of his job last season. So,
yeah,
if they start maybe in the first, I'll say 10 games and they're still in the bottom 3, I don't know how he's going to survive.
And there's still no guarantee that within the next month Jackie Grealish doesn't get sold from there.
Yeah.
There's still big teams in England that would like his services. And at some point, Villa's going to have to make that decision. Do we take the money now or do we not? So,
if Villa doesn't do well, do they just become sellers and get rid of Jackie? And Johnny McGinn had a nice comeback after the restart. And
Tyrone
Mings will probably go. I think Connor Hourihan's pretty dope too.
Yeah.
He's not a bad player.
They did lose Matthias Sarek. He left. That was one of their only big loss. Their only big addition was Matty Cash.
Matty Cash from Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they brought in Matty Cash. So you're the Forest team that Adam single-handedly put into oblivion.
After the collapse of the Forest, he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
This is over.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out. Let's go to another team that'll probably...
The young English lad, Matty Cash.
Yes, so he's their only addition as of now.
I'm saying if Chelsea's plan was to not have Tammy in, their future, do you think that would be great for Villa to pick up Tammy again?
To bring him back?
Yeah.
On a permanent deal? I mean, I would be making if I saw all the money that Chelsea just spent and I'm Villa sitting there and what the history that we had with Tammy getting us back to the league, I'm making that phone call 10 out of 10 times because they're going to need to recoup some money. The likelihood of him
selling people off to get some of that.
Yeah, and I mean he will command a decent dollar. He's young. He's the type of player teams are going to be looking for. And as much as you would like to work him in with all the games that you guys are going to have to play this year with Champions League and Europe and all that, I mean
the depth there.
Yeah, you got to be able to recoup. And people aren't just going to be knocking down your door for Olivier Giroud at 34, 35 years old. So that's a guy that
Batshuayi to Villa.
Yeah.
He's pretty much the odd man out.
Nobody wants Michy Batshuayi.
That's true. I'll take him back at Dortmund. He was scoring goals there.
Yeah.
We need another striker.
He'll get a whole lot of playing time with Haaland there.
Yeah. Hey, he puts the ball in the net. I don't care.
He does.
He's just not fit for Prem life.
Yeah. Prem life has not been good to Michy. So
Eric said, is there a January window since the summer one is kind of longer? I guess they would just move it back. I don't know.
I think, yeah, I think the original
Is
plan, and I
everything
have to
just
look,
shifted like a month now?
I think they're going to try and get that window back onto a regular schedule. So then going forward, everything gets back on a regular
Like
schedule. They'll
January.
do, because this is going to be so short, they're going to let that, keep that on pace to open it back up.
Yeah, I mean they're
Again, it's just all going to depend on how the world goes here.
yeah, agree. I mean, if all goes according to plan, I know that they're trying to end the season the same time as you normally would in May. So they're trying to get it back by squeezing in a little, maybe a couple more games than they normally would, since they're starting the season a month late. But
Right.
I would assume there's going to be still a January window of some sort.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be. They're not just going to keep that closed. You got to be able to open that up for teams and let them
There's always some good signings in January.
always.
So, but yeah, we'll see what Villa's got. I think their backs are sort of against the wall. They just eked out staying up.
Yeah.
Big season for Villa here coming up.
Who
How
you
about
got next?
I got Newcastle. What do you think?
Man.
I mean, they pretty much set themselves back with Joe Linton signing, I think.
Yeah, and I kept moving them up the table, down my table, up my table, down my table, trying to put it together. I don't see them probably in relegation,
No,
just because, I mean, we saw sparks late from Almiron. Finally seems to have figured out the Prem a little bit.
another sleeper.
Yeah. St. Maxim, obviously a ton of talent. They added a veteran in my boy
Jeffy Hendricks.
Hendrick from the Irish
Burnley.
International from Burnley. So that guy's been around. He will help solidify a midfield a little bit. He can play defense. He can play offense. He can kind of do a little of everything.
And they signed Matty Longstaff
They
again.
signed Matty. Yeah, signed Matty Longstaff. They signed this kid Niall Brookwell too, who looks like he's most likely going to start with their U23. He probably won't be on the main Newcastle squad.
Mm-hmm.
But everything I've seen from this kid,
Sleeper talk.
if probably the other coach closest to getting chopped in Steve Bruce, I would say him and Dean Smith are probably the first two on a list of guys that need to watch their jobs early in the year.
Maybe they could bring back Rafa.
Yeah.
I'm sure all the Newcastle fans would love that. Oh, I did see.
Just what they need.
How about a good signing would this be for Newcastle? Callum Wilson, I heard.
Dude, I mean, that's a perfect. Put it this way: if they can sign Callum Wilson, and they can solidify a striker up front with the rest of that team that that grew late into last year,
right?
They're definitely safe at that point. Then I would say.
I mean, they need somebody to put the ball in the net, and
have to.
If Joe Linton can figure it out this year, but if he can't, they got to move on from him, because
they need somebody
they're going to be in real trouble
on their own. Absolutely.
Like, St. Maxime can create himself, and we saw glimpses of Almiron really showing up finally, but they need some help. They need somebody.
You can't let my man John Joe down.
No, and he's always a solid guy. No matter what, he's going to be.
You got to get John Joe some support.
He's going to be getting his yellow cards. He's going to be scoring a few beauty goals throughout the season. It's all in the day's work for John Joe.
Yeah, he looks like Gru from the Minions' little brother.
He does, or Voldemort.
or Voldemort, yes. So,
but yeah, it's Newcastle.
Show favorite.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I think Newcastle. I don't think they get relegated, but I think it's going to be. They're going to be on that line.
Yeah, I got them at 14th on my initial table. So,
and that might be even high.
It could be. I could be. They could be. I could be. Who knows?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows anymore.
How about Palace? They really shit the bed at the end of last season
Oof.
after the restart. They couldn't do anything. I mean,
Well,
they
you
still
just
have
going like
Zaha.
you going the bottom of my table up, or I mean, you pretty much.
I'm going like my predicted table, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
So if Zaha doesn't score, they're going to be bad.
If Zaha is even still there too. I mean, again, we got a month, so
And they don't defend at all.
they do not defend at all, and I didn't see much addition in the side defensively.
I think
This
they made
kid
one signing, that Ezzy guy, right?
Ezzy, and they brought in they actually plucked a guy from West Brom in Nathan Ferguson.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Ezzy's the name that everybody was talking about. He was definitely one of the more touted guys in Europe, coming from QPR.
QPR, yeah.
So for Palace to land him, that's big for Palace.
Speaking
Don't
of
know
a
if that's going to be
coach
enough.
that might get fired as well, Mr. Roy Hodgson is probably, if they again aren't very good out of this new season, I could see them saying, "I'm sorry, Roy, you're just not cut for this."
Yeah, we definitely started with some of the three probably most choppable coaches early in the season.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a coach throughout the season that we're just screaming for them to fire, like we did for Marco Silva. And I think it'll be probably Roy Hodgson. Like, yes, you're a cute old man, but you got to go. I'm sorry. That card only gets played so many times. Eric said, any recommended sites to go to for like draft prep?
I mean, just down the EPL
Premier League
app,
site's pretty good.
I was going to say the EPL app itself, which is you're going to have to get that because that's where I'm going to be sending you to join the league. It's all run through that app. It's the EPL fantasy app.
It's free to sign up.
Yeah, you see the teal with the purple lion. That's what you need. A lot of draft prep there.
I mean,
obviously listening to us is great draft prep.
Yeah, I think they have the ratings of like who they think will go.
Oh yeah, they got rankings.
First
they got everything
through whatever.
Yeah, they got all the stuff in there. And like I said, that's where you're going to draft from anyway, so you're going to need to get that.
You want guys that put the ball in the net and can get assists too.
And defenders. I mean, you need defenders that are going to get clean sheets
and can score a little bit as well.
Yeah,
that's why Alexander-Arnold was a beast.
Oh yeah, second in the league in assists plus clean sheets, and so guys like that are big.
Eddie said Messi little troll job and not joining Man City.
Yeah,
a little bit,
kind of
a little bit. I think he's. I don't really know. We've tried to put our finger on the pulse of the Messi situation, and it's weird because, you know, we said it like in the beginning, if you missed it, that his family apparently was the reason why he's staying. His kids were like, no, Mom, no.
Yeah, we don't have Messi time right now.
Young Mateo was the reason why.
Yeah, young Mateo. Blame young Mateo. He'll be the most hated person in Man City.
Apparently, people were calling Messi's, like teams were calling the Messi household. Mateo would pick up and be like, go Madrid or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like trolling everybody.
That's awesome.
I think it's going to be a random draft order, I would assume.
Yeah, it'll be random draft order. So once we get the league full, again, anybody who's just joining us, if you want to get into our EPL Fantasy League, please put a message on the board. Let us know. Find us. Best way really would be to go to the Kicking It Stateside Facebook page that I have and then message me in there or directly on my own And then we can get you in. Or if you want to put your email up on here, I will write it down. And after the show, we will send you the invite to get in. Draft will be held Thursday. Season starts Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. So we're gonna have to draft and get your rosters in and ready. So please, we're trying
Let's
to
get
fill the
after it.
league with fans. We have other people that we're going to plug in after. We can get the league full based off of today's show. So, and do I think they'll boo Messi at camp? Yeah, I would.
I'm sure there will be some boo birds. Why not?
There was a few Argentinians booing him when he first made his comeback there. So
He is a hero in Barcelona, so maybe not.
he is. He is. There's always one though. So all
All right.
we got to keep going here.
West Ham, David Moyes.
West Ham.
Let's see if they even have the same squad at the end of this transfer window, because Declan Rice, Antonio, Cresswell all have been linked away from West Ham. So
perfect segue. Our boy Andy, that does the wrestling show here on A2D. Make sure you guys check him out if you're big wrestling fans like I am. He was just saying how the famed Triple H, huge West Ham fan, and he basically came out in the media and went right at Declan Rice and was like, bro, why don't you stay here, be the face of West Ham, and continue to help grow this West Ham squad?
mm-hmm.
And my answer to that is I've crossed them out and written them back in to relegation 3 times this morning. So I don't know what he's planning to grow, because outside of, a really strong month to finish the season last year, that team by all rights should have gone down.
I mean, Mikel Antonio basically saved their season.
Yeah, he put them on his back and absolutely saved them, because they went 2 months without a result back in October, November. So I did write them again back into the table as of now, but I kept putting them into that 18 spot and then taking them out. I've been flip-flopping 15 and 18 with West Ham and Southampton all morning.
I think West Ham's in that 14, 15 range for sure.
Yeah, and if Declan Rice does leave, or Antonio, forget about it. I mean, they're even talking about one of their biggest sparks, even though he's a very up and down player, Mr. Felipe Anderson, possibly coming to Arsenal to join up with one of many Brazilians as a nice rotational player. So I'd be happy with that.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So we'll see if that's just, like you say, hooey and fake news, or if that's an actual possible transfer.
I think the only thing for West Ham before we move on is they signed Thomas Soucek.
Yeah, made that deal permanent.
He was a scoring machine there too, so that's positive for them.
But they did lose Zabaleta, who, as up and down as he was important for that team.
Yep.
They lost Roberto and the aforementioned Grady Dieng going to West Brom. So David Moyes has his hands full, I think. But
Absolutely.
they did seem to spark a little bit under him last year. So like I said, I'm still torn with them. I keep flip-flopping them in and out of the league. So we'll see. See what the rest of this month has as far as transfers go.
You got to put the ball in the net, and not just Antonio.
Yeah. Or Yarmolenko.
True. What do you think about Brighton? They had a pretty decent season last year. Gave Graham Potter the extension. Trossard had glimpses of brilliance. Maupau's a nice player, but they lost Aaron Moy to China. I don't know.
Which I mean they went in and they plucked a guy who's been around winners.
Lallana,
fill
right?
That spot in Lallana. So
that's a nice pickup.
I think honestly their moves, as quiet as it is, and I mean obviously no one's making noise like Chelsea is. They've made some pretty good moves for that squad. Adding Lallana.
Did they get Joel Veltman?
They added Joel Veltman, and they added Lars de Donker, who
Oh,
I
that's right.
misspoke a couple weeks ago. He is not the de Donker that played with Wolves. He's the younger brother to the de Donker that plays for Wolves. So Belgium international, out of where's he from? I forget where he came from, but he's a defender. He's basically, he's going to get thrown to the fire. He's going to have to play. He's a 19-year-old kid, but they're going to need him.
They got Louis Dunk re-signed.
They got Louis Dunk re-signed.
Dan Burns still there.
They lost Glenn Murray. The famed Glenn Murray. Unfortunately, gets the beauty
The
of playing
old
for
man
Watford.
super sub. Ooh, bummer.
He's gonna score 25 for Watford in the championship. Calling it now.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. I
get them back to the Prem, only to
Lord.
go back again the next year.
Please, I can't have any more Hayden Mullen.
Honestly, their biggest loss, I think, was Shane Duffy going to Celtic. Shane Duffy's a good veteran leader for that team.
They still got David Propa.
Yeah, I don't know. I never wrote him in relegation this morning, so that's a good sign because I was down on him last year a little bit.
And they finished about the same place the last 2 seasons, so
yeah.
You really would hope
I have him at 12.
You really hope they could finish 12th. Otherwise, I mean, it's like, all right, we're staying up in the Prem, but we're not really making any headway. And with the signings they have, I mean, again, you need somebody to score the ball, and hopefully Lallana can help him out. Nice veteran presence to help Maupay, because he was pretty much the only guy that was scoring for them. So,
yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
I like where Eric's head's at. He said City, United, and
Everton. Did he mean?
And Everton all go down. That would be
Woo!
That would be monumental. I would love to see it though.
What a collapse!
Yeah, put it this way: if that was ever the case and that started happening, we would be able to do a show every day with the things we'd be able to talk about.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Eric Bastian said, "Did you see the Ted Lasso?"
I have not had time to sit down and watch it yet, but I've heard.
I am a big fan of Jason Sudeikis, and I remember he did those little promo videos for the Prem in the mornings back in 2 years ago. It seems funny. I'll probably give it a shot one of these days.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely. When I have the time, I will definitely sit down and give it a whirl.
How about Burnley? The Ginger Mourinho, Sean Dyche, our fan favorite.
Well, in typical Burnley fashion, they don't do a lot.
Mid-table.
They lose Joe Hart, which isn't that big of a loss at this point.
And Jeffy Hendricks, like we mentioned.
The aforementioned Jeffy Hendricks. They did add a young goalie from the Wolves pipeline, Will Norris. Looks like he may get the opportunity to play. He was under Patricio, and he's gotten a little burn for some of the Wolves second teams.
And they already have a stud young goalie, and Nick Pope.
Yes,
who is also my sleeper, not really sleeper goalie. Sleeper talk, Greg. I know, but yeah, I don't know. Chris Wood, if he stays healthy,
yeah.
Seems like mid-table for Sean and the
mid-table. Got him at 10 again.
That's pretty much what they do. They don't do anything crazy. They don't win big, but they get their shutouts every once in a while, and their defense is usually pretty good with, what's his name back there? It's not bad. Is that Tarkovsky on Burnley?
Yes.
He's a good player. So, again, they're able to keep that young kid, that Dwight McNeil, on the wing. Yeah. So we'll see what they got.
They're the most unsexy.
Very unsexy.
They're the team you kind of forget about, and every time you look at the table, they're, like you said, they're just in the same spot. You're not going to ever see them in the top 6, and you're not going to see them in the bottom 6. But they're
right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Very not sexy, but yeah, I think that 10 to 12 range is probably where they'll finish, and that is not a bold prediction at all. It's just facts.
I just kept flip-flopping them in Sheffield between 10 and 11 this morning.
It's going to happen, so you won't be wrong either way.
You want to go actually before we go Sheffield, Southampton.
Sure.
We've neglected them long enough. It's time. It's been too long. I need it from you. Head coach of Southampton.
Oh, Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Oh man, that does.
Doesn't feel good. It feels good.
It does, man. We haven't had a good Hasenhüttl in a while.
Bold prediction from Eric on the side here. Burnley goes down.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like it. I like bold predictions coming from the squads.
I don't know, man. I feel like Shawnee Dyche won't let it happen.
Well, here's a team in Southampton that every year you're pretty sure, like, this is it. They've sold everything good they've had to Liverpool year after year because they are Liverpool's farm squad.
And then a young man comes along last year, Danny Ings, and just puts his team on his back and absolutely has, 20? How many goals did he have?
21. What, he finished second or third in the Golden Boot?
Absolutely ridiculous. And
go.
No,
I was going to say they add Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yep.
From Spurs. They add this kid Mohamed Salisu from Real Valladolid.
Yeah.
Over in Spain. 21-year-old center back from Ghana. So they add some defense. They did lose Harrison Reed, as we talked about. Cedric signed full-time with Arsenal.
Yep.
So he's not going back. They did lose Højbjerg.
Yes, to Spurs as well.
I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't see it.
I mean, if Danny Ings can soar the way he did last year, I mean, shit.
I can't see it happening again. I can't. The rest of the league is too good to allow Danny Ings.
Che Adams steps up this year. Who knows?
Maybe he does. I have them at 18th.
Really? That far down?
Dude, again, all morning, I wrote him in my first write-in. I had him at 15th. I had him surviving. And then I looked at what little help that they got.
That's a disservice to Ralph Hasenhüttl.
He's the only reason that I would give them an opportunity not to come down, is because I feel like he's a good coach.
Yeah, very good coach.
And again, I kept all morning 15 and 18. West Ham and Southampton, I keep flip-flopping. I'm not putting these in stone yet because we don't have the window closed, and I don't think it's fair to completely put them in stone till that window's closed. But yeah,
I think you're doing a disservice. I don't think they'll finish that low.
Well, you thought you picked them in the beginning of last year to go down, so
I did. I said this is the year. I'm tired of you.
Yeah,
I learned my lesson. Danny Ings.
I know.
Hopefully he's not just like a little flash. Like, I don't know.
I'm not saying I necessarily want that to happen. That's looking at the rest of the table and looking at all the other teams.
No, I hear you.
I don't know. Yeah. So.
I don't know. We'll see. If he can score like they did, I don't see them finishing that low.
No. If he puts up the numbers he put up last year, they won't. But I could see that dramatically dropping. I don't see him probably scoring more than 15 this year.
Right on.
So,
how about our Blades?
Sheffield, perfect.
The Blades boys, absolutely smashed expectation last year.
Yeah, they have the coach of the year. If Klopp obviously doesn't exist, Chris Wilder's 100% coach of the year in the Premier League.
Oh, for sure.
Unfortunately for him, Liverpool and Jurgen weren't allowing that. But great year.
Oh.
Exceeded all expectations.
With a team that didn't have like a big standout player whatsoever.
Here's the only problem. Their number one player was their goalkeeper, and Dean Henderson. He's gone.
He's gone. He's back with United, but they make
They
a
did
great
bring him.
signing, and Aaron Ramsdale's not a bad replacement.
Aaron Ramsdale is not a bad replacement. It's just can you catch that same vibe? Because without Dean Henderson last year, they're nowhere near that team that they were. And Aaron Ramsdale's great. You know, very young goalkeeper from Wales. Actually, they added two goalkeepers. They added this kid, Wes Fotheringham, which sounds like a completely fake name.
Fake
Sounds like
English
a name
guy.
made up in Mr. Deeds. But he's a 29-year-old goalkeeper coming over from Glasgow Rangers. Nice. So he'll probably push Ramsdale a little bit too if they want a little bit of a veteran in there as well. So they basically filled the one spot that they really needed to fill with Henderson.
They don't make moves, but they don't really need to.
Yeah. So again, mid-table, I think 10 and 11 is kind of a safe spot for them right now.
The only thing that concerned me with them is that they kind of, after the restart, they looked a little flat.
Yeah, they did.
I think COVID really killed their momentum. So we'll see how they can, if they can get up for the start of this season and hopefully not be discouraged by the way they ended, last year. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think they'll finish okay. I think they have a good coach. I think they have a solid squad of guys that all play together for not the name on the back of the jersey, but on the crest. So we'll see.
All right.
How about Everton?
Now we're starting to get to the big boys.
Everton is cleaning up here. They signed Alan.
My man Alan.
Napoli.
Yeah.
Just
Napoli.
Out of medical.
Long time Brazilian international.
Yes, Leo.
Good defensive midfielder. I don't know, man.
Apparently James. Did they announce that yet?
I didn't see that one announced yet. I saw this Niles and Nuku from Marseille. That was their other ad that I saw. Schneiderling out. Leighton Baines retires.
Yeah.
Again,
they still have Luca Digne anyway. I mean, Leighton Baines didn't play much last year.
Put it this way. You and I were super, super high on them last year.
I had them in the top 4.
I'm not going to get that high. I have them actually at 8.
I think they're in the 8 to 10 range again.
With a full year with Carlo.
I like the Ancelotti. That was good. They sort of scuffled a little bit towards the end last season. Yeah. I think they kind of shot their load a little bit. I think they were tired.
Yeah, I think they've addressed some needs, though, in the offseason. I think he's kind of found some form for that offense.
They have a good foundation with Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin up top. I think that's great.
Yeah.
But
your boy Bernardo when he wants to show up.
Yeah, Bernard's a little guy.
Yeah, but Bernard.
It's
a lot of Brazilian flavor there.
Yeah. I mean, Allen, and if they can
almost
get
as much as Arsenal.
Yeah. The new Brazilian national squads here.
Yeah, love it.
But I mean, if they can get James Rodriguez somehow, I think they get a good chance to maybe creep into the top 6. But I've overly predicted them to do well last year, so I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah. Right now, I got them sitting 8, but that could, like you said, that could flip flop. That 8 to 10 range, I think, is probably safe. The team I had right on their heels would be Wolves.
Yeah,
I have Wolves at 9.
I mean, the only thing I could really say about them is they lost Matt Doherty to Spurs.
Yeah, that's a big loss. That's a big loss.
He's that attacking winger that likes to get up in the play. Pretty not a bad defender either. I mean, I know they still got Willy Boley and Johnny.
Yeah.
But and obviously if you have Raul Jimenez, who can he repeat the season he had last year, I guess, is the big question.
And they brought in the goalkeeping help. Obviously they still have Patricio, but he's getting super long in the tooth. So they brought in that kid that I mentioned earlier from Villa, Matija Sarcic, the Montenegro national.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, they got a good coach. I mean, it's
Yeah, Espero gives them a chance to win no matter what. As long as they're not getting to the point where they're going to start losing some of these guys.
yeah, it depends. I mean, if they
They
start selling Traore again, big name,
they did lose their spot in Europa, by the way, the FA Cup and all that finished.
which might be
So
good for them, so they don't have
yeah,
to play as many games, be a little fresher for Prem games. So
yeah, for a team like that, that's actually could be a positive. So
balls to the wall, man. I think they had a good season, a little bit of a letdown towards the end. Again, they lost that Europa spot, but could be a blessing in disguise because you really
yes,
have to have a deep squad, and keeping, like Zinho said, Traore, and keeping Jimenez is huge. The Doherty
big time.
loss is big, but
Yeah,
they could find. I mean, Dendonka is a pretty young, solid,
yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
same position. So
Yes,
whatever.
the brothers Dendonk are taking over the Prem.
Belgians for life.
Yeah, man. So
What about the Foxes?
regression,
I think they take a
major
step back as well.
regression.
Obviously, they lose Chilwell to Chelsea. I mean, how many years can Jamie Vardy still do this?
He's not winning Golden Boot again.
How many years can he do this? I mean, I know I call him out right now, and he'll probably shove it down my face, but
Probably.
I mean, they still have pretty much the same squad.
The only credit I'll give him is Brendan Rodgers seems to find these guys that he can get and plug in. Just like when they lost Harry Maguire at the beginning of last year, everybody said, "Oh, that defense is going to be
And then
dreadful." And
Sancho is amazing.
yeah, and so the replacement that they got for Chilwell is Timothy Castanegi from Atalanta.
Oh, nice.
So
Oh, yeah, nice.
I mean, they got a kid who plays the same position that has played again on a high level team in Europe. So hopefully he's a plug and play for them. But they haven't done much else. The restart hurt them big time.
Yeah, they really couldn't find a form at all.
I right now have them in the sixth position still, though. Kind of flip flopping them in Spurs. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
They still have a good team.
Oh yeah, I mean with Ndidi and that defense, and they have
It's
a lot
just
of offense.
if their keys are if Jamie can score the way he's been, and if
Yeah.
they can if they start slipping, are they going to look to offload, the James Madisons and Ndidi? And I know Sancho was even on the
He's on a lot
watchful
of teams'
eye
radars. Yeah.
of Barcelona, maybe as a replacement for PK. So
Yeah, Thielman's still a young kid that they want
young
to hold on
Belgian kid,
to.
Dennis
Yeah,
Pratt, another young Belgian. So we'll see if they decide to be sellers or if they're going to just Kasper Schmeichel. He's got to have a better season than last year.
yeah, he struggled a little bit last year.
So I know that's a lot of ifs, but it's a good enough team where they shouldn't finish below 6
Absolutely,
to basically end
that
it
should be
there.
that should be a top 6 team.
Now we're getting into the sixes here. We'll go North London here. We'll go Spurs first.
Spursies.
Definitely made it a lot of improvements with obviously Matty Doherty coming in, like we said.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, obviously, like we said, from Southampton. Nice pickup. You still got Kane. You still got Sonny. You still got Lucas Moura. Steven Bergwijn seems to be like he's going to be a great signing for them.
He's gonna be holding down that right wing. I think he scored for Netherlands yesterday.
I did see that.
Yeah, they had Joe Hart to back up Lloris. So
right,
not a bad backup to have, I guess, even though he's declining.
And they lose the ageless wonder Jan Vertonghen.
Yeah, he was released, and the earlier mentioned Kyle Walker-Peters is gone. Don't know that. I don't think that's going to make a major impact. The biggest thing is you have Jose Mourinho. And when you have Jose Mourinho, as much as we all love to hate him, that's what you're going to have.
Roller coaster.
And at the end of the day, you're probably going to finish in the top 6, top 8.
Probably.
I don't see him being a top 4 squad right now, not with the other teams that are in the league and not with some of the other moves teams have made. Obviously, we all know how I feel about them, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't have time to go on a Spurs rant because we are just unfortunately getting
We're up
later and later
against it.
into this show. So
Always pressing it.
yeah, we're always pressing right up against it. So
That Matthew Darty announcement video was pretty funny, actually.
it was. And
What was he
Julio,
tweeting that Spurs suck like back in the day or something?
Julio, thanks for joining us again. Real quick plug: if you want to join our fantasy league, free to join this year. EPL Fantasy League. Contact us either in the chat or on the social medias after the show. We are looking for members of the league. So all you guys chiming in, please join us for this season.
Yeah, play some fantasy against your boys. See how you stack up.
All right, so let's get out of that part. Let's get to the good part of North London, the red part.
The red part.
Arsenal, I'm going to make this short and sweet. Mikel Arteta has done nothing but come into the league,
great,
beat Chelsea, beat City, beat Liverpool twice, win 2 cups, a shield, a plate, and a
shield.
Cup. He's eaten. He's got a plate and a cup.
You want a China plate.
Hey, everybody wants that plate until they lose it. Then they want to talk bad about it. So
just my bitter self.
Not only did he do that, but he beat COVID-19.
He just beat everything in 2020. He just
beat everything. So here we come. We added some players. It looks like El Nehi's coming back. So that vaunted defensive midfielder that everybody was looking for, we brought him back from Benfica. We brought in a good young center back in Gabriel, a 22-year-old that's going to learn from David Luiz. Hopefully that allows David Luiz not to have to play every day. They can ship Mustafi out. They brought Saliba back. They brought in the veteran Willian. There's going to be offense. Aubameyang's back, most likely. It's still not signed yet. It's not signed yet, but we're hoping that's back. There's still talks about Payarte, possibly.
Thomas Payarte.
Danny Ceballos signs another year loan from Real.
Huge.
So I know it's my squad. I'm not trying to play homer here, but I like the moves. I got him finally finishing number 4, back in Champions League for the first time in a long time. Let's go, baby.
Wow. I don't know.
Number 4.
Arsenal's way is just 5, finish 5th every year.
No, we're hopping United. We're gonna hop United.
I don't know. Stan likes to finish 5.
I know. Well, we only got a little bit of time left, so let's go right into United, and I'll tell you why they're gonna finish over United, because all United did was re-sign Ighalo, who didn't seem to do anything there.
And they also have the best attack in the league besides Liverpool.
They do.
And maybe Chelsea, depending. We'll find out.
But their number 1 defender may be in a Greek prison all season. So
we're not sure. He's cast off to Mykonos.
Yeah. So while one of their defenders is in a Greek prison, there are other defenders out there saving little old ladies from burning cars.
Vic.
Adam's boy. So
a guy.
I see that push that they made wearing off. I think teams are going to get film on Bernardo, and they're going to find a way to kind of neutralize him a little bit. They could have the injury bug come back. I think
they just got better. They signed Donny van de Beek. They got the 2 midfielders we know.
I had him in 4th, and I flipped him for Arsenal last minute before the show.
Yeah, Greenwood, Martial, Rashford. Say no more.
Pogba, if he stays.
It's a pretty complete team. I don't know. I think they finish. It's going to be up to Chelsea and United, I think, will fight for 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
unfortunately. But yes, Chelsea, we mentioned, try and get this. We can go over a little bit today. I'm sorry.
We're going to have to.
Just by a little, not a lot.
I know. We'll make it up.
But yeah, Chelsea, we mentioned $230 million spent this summer. You bring in Kai Havertz, you bring in Timo Werner, you bring in Hakim Ziyech.
Bring in Thiago freaking Silva. I know he's 35 years old, but he was the best player on PSG in that Champions League final. He neutralized an offense in Bayern that was unneutralizable.
He's a pesky vet. What do you expect?
He is, and he's way better than what you had. Chilwell, come on.
If
you're not finishing first, you're last.
Okay, Ricky Bobby. You ain't first, you're last. But yeah,
I got it right here. Chelsea first in the Premier League.
monumental disappointment if they don't finish top 2, I would say.
The biggest, honestly, I would not have made that till the Havertz signing because it brings comfort to Timo. When you have a kid that you've grown up playing with in these German national teams, they've been together for probably since they were 14 and 16 years old.
Yep.
That is instant chemistry. It's an instant position to feed the ball to Timo. I mean, if you stay healthy, Pulisic gets healthy again, and sky's the limit for that team. The sky is the absolute limit. I know you have goalkeeping questions.
Of course, Kepa's saga. We don't know what's going on with that. He'll probably stay because there's no other option.
Right.
I don't want Caballero, but yeah, it's the big thing is Frank Lampard year 2, how he can do and adjust. And with so many new pieces, can they all gel together and figure it out? That's the biggest thing.
It's
and there's a lot of pressure because that money spent and the players that they brought in, if they don't do good,
big
time failure.
As a manager, you want what Chelsea did. You want your ownership to go out and get you everybody that was on your wish list.
And Malin Sarr, I forgot that young French center back.
Yes,
which I believe is loaned back out.
Yeah, they signed him and loaned him right back out. So, but
I love it.
Where you want all these players, it's just more added pressure on your shoulders. Now you have to succeed.
Put your money where your mouth is. There it is.
Yeah, Frank begged for it and he got it. So good luck.
So now the big 2 daddies, I'm sure. We'll go City, obviously. Man City. Pretty much they get Ferran Torres.
Yeah, Pablo Moreno from Juve.
Didn't really do much else. Nate big help center back wise.
Here's the thing. I made my picks again. They're still in the Koulibaly race. This actually seems probably like the most legit chance Koulibaly's coming to the Prem out of the last 5 years.
Now that they're not going to drop that money for Messi, they're going to spend 70 million on probably Koulibaly.
So if they add Koulibaly
and Aki in the middle,
yeah, dude, that's
tough, man.
That's tough.
And the way Rodri played and holding midfield, De Bruyne obviously is De Bruyne.
And for all you U.S. fans, they did not retain Claudio Bravo. Zach Steffen is the number 2.
Backup, baby. Come on.
Is the number 2 on one of the biggest clubs in Europe. So that's a positive for.
And you got Aguero coming off injury. But hopefully he's in there.
Sané's gone, even though he didn't seem to be in Pep's favor. He's going to do big things at Bayern. So
and the quiet scorer, Raheem Sterling, just doing his job.
Yeah, and De Bruyne, and Kung Aguero, and
if they
Gabriel,
if they could get Koulibaly to really shore up that defense, man, they're going to be tough to beat.
Here's the thing. Liverpool won the league last year. They scored 85 goals. City scored 102. The team's going to score. And like we just said, they've added Ake. If they add Koulibaly, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I mean, they're top 3. They're top 3 all day.
Well, I mean, the league is turning into such a score.
Yeah.
You want the firepower. I mean, you see it. I mean, City
got to stop people.
Okay on defense, but you're lucky you got a great goalie in Ederson to bail you out. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously the title winners, Liverpool, they're probably going to be the favorite, I would assume. Can City top them this year? Will it be a close race? Was that Liverpool season last year just like, it was their time to shine. It was their
it all just came together.
The stars aligned and everything. They just destroyed the league.
So far, they've only made really one move in the offseason, and it was the young Greek Tsimikas center back. So they're building a center back pair of the future, it looks like, with Joe Gomez and him. But I don't know how much impact he's going to make now. He played on that Olympiacos team that knocked Arsenal out of Europa League.
And really, they just get even better depth-wise. They get the Ryan Brewster back from Swansea. I don't know if he'll be loaned out again or not.
The post-hitting Ryan Brewster.
Yeah, still
Thank
young.
you. Thank you, kid. Thanks.
And Harry Wilson, I believe, right?
I have not heard one word on this Harry Wilson thing yet. So I don't know. I don't know if
is he back or not. I'm not
if
sure.
he's still with Bournemouth, if he's back and he's going to get loaned back out. But I haven't seen much. Minamino's going to get in there. He scored the equalizer in the Supporters Shield game. So
Naby Keita, obviously, depth guy.
Yeah. Again, we talked about they lost Lallana, they lost Lovren to Zenit. Klein retires, which Klein wasn't getting much time anymore. I love Nathaniel Klein though, but his days were numbered. So
yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, my early table, I picked Chelsea 1 because they spent $230 million on a lot of really good players. They didn't spend it on garbage. I mean, all these players that they've added, I've watched, I've enjoyed. I can no longer enjoy any of them, unfortunately, unless they're playing for the German national team.
Just defense is going to be suspect for Chelsea. That's going to be their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
They let in a lot of goals last year.
Yeah. So, I mean, Liverpool has to come in, obviously, probably the favorite, defending champions. But
like I said, these top 4 teams have some serious firepower.
I just got a tweet on somebody looking to join the league. So, again, guys, if you want to join our fantasy league after the show, I'll answer everything, show you how. But please hit us up on the socials. Let us know that you want in. We'll get you in.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
So we won't get into any fixtures. The only thing I do want to say, because when we come onto the air next Saturday, the breakfast game will have concluded. Fulham Arsenal. I'll know right off the jump where I'm looking for my Arsenal. Are we going to lose on the road to Fulham to start the campaign?
Are we going to see an early rant in the morning from you next week, I guess?
Or are we going to see the Arsenal team that I picked 4th, and they're going to handle their business against a newly promoted squad? I have them winning 3-1. We'll make our picks, though, during the week and get them up on A2Ds and our own socials.
Hell yes.
Anything else that you want to throw in here, man?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we pretty much ran down the whole damn thing. I mean, in an hour condensed show.
Yeah.
I mean, like we always say, we could talk about this shit all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Julio is in the.
He was the one who sent the tweet.
Okay, sweet.
As soon as I can,
awesome.
I'll get you the info, Julio. We'll get you in.
Thank you, Julio. You're the best as well. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. I know we always run the get the time crunched into an hour and a half. It's hard, but
we'll owe the boss man a couple bucks after this one for running a little over, but we appreciate our producer Ralphie too, obviously, for hanging in with us and
of course
letting us run a little late. And I got a quick yellow is the 3 new teams you got to be put on notice. You're the 3 new teams back in the league. So, I mean, and if I had a red, but I'm changing it.
You have the red.
I had a red. Yaya Toure was in the news this morning.
Oh, no.
He was set to play in the UNICEF game that Usain Bolt has played in the past, the charity game.
Yeah.
Apparently before the thing was played, they were in some Zoom conference, and he made some tasteless jokes.
Uh-oh.
They won't tell you what. They've been taken down, but he had this big apology, and he's been removed from the UNICEF game. So,
oh no,
good old Yaya Toure just
red
keeping
card
himself
to
relevant at 37 years old.
Red card to cancel culture.
Yeah,
damn it.
So, yes,
we're canceling everybody.
Cancel them all.
All right, we got to get out of here. But thank you guys again for watching and listening. And we got Prem Soccer next Saturday.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys are in our league.
Some live reactions and running down the breakfast game. So,
yeah, man.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week. We're back, boys. Prem's back. Love you.